Oh, it's another good weekend in Scottsdale at the U.S. Mexican Numismatic Association. Hi, I'm David Lasso here for Coin Television. It's 2018 and it's going to be another great show. This is a boutique convention of dealers and collectors who specialize in coinage of Latin America and Mexico. It's a wonderful festivity with all kinds of eating and drinking and delightfulness for all the attendees who've come from all over the world, mostly Latin America, and lots of people from Mexico. It's going to be a great show. We're going to see all kinds of cool coins from Mexico and Latin America. And soon we'll have the awards ceremony where you can find out all of the people who've contributed to this organization.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 7th annual U.S. Mexican Numismatic Association Convention. We're glad you all made it. We're going to go on and this evening and finish up the appetizers, and we're going to proceed with the silent auction.
Yeah, if you haven't had a chance yet, please take a look at these two tables back here. There's several wonderful donations. All the money raised is going to the society. It helps pay for the printing of the journal, things like putting on the convention. So we're going to close that at 6:30, so please take a look and make sure you get your bids in. We've got a pretty interesting program this year. Tomorrow and the following day, there'll be lectures during the day. There's several exhibits inside. Anything else you want to?
Have a good time, have another drink, bid more money.
And stick around for a little bit longer, because after we close out the auction, we're going to do awards ceremonies for people that gave lectures last year and best articles in the journal, etc.
You got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and done.
All right, start collecting them. Let's go.
Good evening again, everybody. If we could have your attention up here, we're going to start the awards portion of the evening. First thing, though, before we go any further, we'd like to propose a toast to Don Bailey, one of the founding members of the association who held this together longer than anyone else on his own efforts. It was a heroic effort. When times were tough, he spent countless hours on this association. Here's to Don.
Okay, we're at the point in the evening. This is where we give out awards each year. The first ones are for people who authored articles in the journal, which is kind of the bloodline of our organization. We put out a journal several times a year, and it's all articles that are submitted by the membership, and it's really what keeps us going. And each year we vote on what is the best article in various categories. So to start basically by time period, with Spanish Colonial. The winner of the best article in the category of Spanish Colonial is
Bill Siegel. Thanks, Bill. Thanks for doing such a great job.
did.
That was great.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Thanks for supporting us. Next one in order by time period is War of Independence and Imperial, and it's Ricardo de Leon Talavas.
Okay, best article, Revolution, David Hughes. Hey, David, great job. Thank you very much for your help. We really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, brother.
So next, best article on 20th Century Modern, Connor Falk.
Yeah, Connor.
A neglected area. Connor did a great job with this. Congratulations, Connor. Thanks.
Thank you.
Revolutionary paper money. Now, I wonder who that could be. Gobierno Provisional de Mexico notes, Elmer Powell. Yay, Elmer.
Thank you, sir.
So this next one's kind of funny, and I'm going to let you all in on a secret of something that we've done a couple years in a row.
Oh, shoot.
We get a lot of articles on paper money, and a lot of them are written by Simon. And Simon has a pen name because he's embarrassed that he sends in so many articles that he actually submits some of them as Simon Prendergast and some of them as William Lovett. And the first year that we gave an award to William Lovett, not knowing that it was actually Simon. But
We've done we've given William Lovett several awards, and it became kind of a joke to say, "William, are you here? Are you here?"
yeah, does anyone know him? And generally we would have Elmer deliver the award to William Lovett. So anyways, this year the best article for paper money as a general article is actually going to Simon instead of William Lovett. So Elmer, if you'd come up here and accept this on his behalf.
Simon, as many of you know, is our editor of our journal. Without Simon, I don't think there would be a journal. He spends an incredible amount of time on acquiring and improving articles, and he's just been, it's been timeless. He's great. 4 Mexican coins in Costa Rican numismatics, the best overall article. Kent is pointing out I'm being dyslexic and did it upside down. To Manuel Chacon Hidalgo, and I think we'll give this to Carlos to deliver. This group of awards are for the best lectures. In gratitude of his 2017 lecture on the pillar fractionals of Mexico City Mint, varieties in abundance, Brad Yanaka. Thanks very much, Brad. Thanks for all your contributions.
Thank you.
In gratitude of his 2017 lecture on Mexican coins and Costa Rican numismatics, Manuel Chacon Hidalgo. Oh my, look at this. In gratitude of his 2017 lecture on counterfeit coins, Mike Dunnigan. Where is Mike? Come and get it, Mike. Thank you, Mike, for everything you've done for the association. Seriously.
Thank you for everything.
In gratitude of his 2017 lecture on world countermarks on Mexican coinage, Kyle Pontario, and it was a great job. Thank you, Kyle.
You're welcome. Oh, thank you.
You can't do beers and, yeah, there you go. You got it. So, in gratitude of his 2017 lecture on Mexican colonial proclamation medals, Bill Sigel. Thank you again.
Yes.
In gratitude of his 2017 lecture on Banco Minero 1 Peso Vignette Archaeology in Mexico and Central America, to Peter Dunham. Peter is not here today. He's going to be arriving tomorrow. He's going to give another talk this time, and I think it's on Saturday. And it's something not to be missed. It's a lot of fun, his archaeological take on what we all love. Peter Dunham.
Oh, look.
So the last 3 awards are kind of special awards that we give out to people that did something either for the society or for Mexican numismatics in general that was above and beyond and just something great for the advancement of Mexican coin collecting in general. And the first one we're doing is a Richard Doty Award. And if you knew Richard, he was the curator of numismatics at the Smithsonian. And we give this one out for the more scholarly award, and we wanted to give this to Brad Yanaka for the work he's done on pillar coinage and the books that he published in the last couple of years. Cheers. For this award, we call this the Jed Crump Award. And for those of you that remember Jed Crump, he was a real fun-loving guy and a great friend, and I think we all loved him. And that's kind of what this award is all about. And if you've come to this event multiple times, you'll know that the food that you all ate tonight was generously donated by Cristiano Berenbach. And Chris has been like a big push And one of the guys that, like, if you call him on the phone, he's like, when is the show? And then he starts chanting, US Mex, US Mex. So we just wanted to recognize Chris for his contribution, and he's been a big supporter of ours and all around good guy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We thought about calling it the Free Lunch Award, but Kent said that wasn't appropriate.
The last one is kind of a special one as well. So early on when we started giving these awards, we decided, like, I think Corey got the first one because he was the one that put this all together and decided to do this convention, and he put in a lot of thankless work in that time period. And when we first started getting people to, like, set up and take tables at the show, we started talking with, like, Uta at the ANS, and the ANS is like, wow, it's a collector-oriented show. We'd love to take a table. And they're like, what should we bring? And well, I was like, well, why don't I go on your website and I can pick out some things? And each year they've brought the most fabulous and interesting, like, Mexican coins out of their collection to, like, share and exhibit with us. And we just wanted to thank the ANS for being a part of our little show here in Arizona. And each year they bring wonderful, wonderful coins that you won't see anywhere else. And they've just been a great supporter of ours, and we wanted to thank them. And if you get a chance, they're the first table right inside the door. Take a look at what they did. Sign up for the ANS. It's a great organization. And thank you.
Bill, you could give that to,
Here.
take that back with you and tell Uta and everybody, thank you. You guys have been huge.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
You can have the last say.
Okay, and that's the end of the award ceremony. And with that, Corey is going to start doing karaoke.
It's one of the best kept secrets in numismatics here at the US Mexican Numismatic Association Convention. It's in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's held every October, and it's just an incredible show. We talked to the promoter of the show, Corey Frampton, who talked about what's involved in putting this convention on.
This has been one more great year for us. It's our 7th annual convention here in Scottsdale. It has been the largest convention so far. It seems like it improves every year. This year we got a great group of speakers. We just finished with Peter Dunham on a remarkable speech on icons and archaeology and banknotes and coins. We've got another great group of guys coming this afternoon. I think attendance is up perhaps 25% or so. It's kind of become the boutique Latin Mexican show to attend in the United States. And what more can I say? Come join us next year. We'll be here in mid-October again. The dates will be on our website, USMEX.org. Copies of DVDs are going to be available on Coin Television. And for purchase, you can see copies of you can see the videos from the presentations. What more can I say? Come visit us next year.
Why would a family come here? What was here for the wives too?
This part of Scottsdale is rich with great restaurants, great shopping, lots of activities. The weather normally is really nice and warm. It's raining outside. Unusual, very unusual for this time of year. Usually we're mid-80s. Lots of outdoor things to do, golf, all sorts of stuff. And the convention itself is a very social event. It is not like a coin convention where the people are just primarily in the bourse floor. This is a social event from the welcoming party on the patio all the way to the end.
Arthur, we're here at the US Mex Numismatic Convention. What's the best part about coming to the show?
Well, the people. The people are exciting, they're motivated, they're interesting, they're knowledgeable. It's just a lot of fun.
It's just it's so much more casual than the other shows that we go to, and it's a lot of fun. There's no pressure involved. It's like hanging out with a bunch of your friends. It's very, very enjoyable.
Oh, by far, it's just the social aspect of it. You get to meet all of the right people, all the big people in the business, and not just meet them, but have a good discussion about everything and enjoy the camaraderie. Business is always good as well. It's just a great scene all around.
The best part about this convention is you have collectors and dealers who are very passionate about the hobby, who get to come out and spend a weekend discussing their collection, discussing their area of expertise, discussing their passion with each other, and you have a lot of fun and you learn a lot.
The best part of this convention is a combination of things. You've got the camaraderie that is missed at a lot of big shows. You have the educational aspect, and you know, you come to this show and you can learn things, and people are very eager to share information with you. And then you get to see people you haven't seen for years, or in some cases decades. And so it's a smaller show because it's just physically not the same size as shows like the major regional shows, Long Beach, Central States, Fun, you know, all those big regional shows. But this is something that those shows don't have. You know, it's much more personal and much more, it's a collector-based show versus a dealer-based show.
Oh my gosh, walking around here at the US Mexican Numismatic Association convention is like being a kid in Wonderland for Mexican and Latin American coins. We had a chance to talk to the dealers to find out some of the really cool pieces they brought for you, our Coin Television viewers.
Yeah, I have a couple things here that kind of have a story behind them. This coin here is a Mexican 8 reales portrait type, and it has a lot of small marks on it, that are called chop marks. This was in the Manila galleon trade with Asia, and a lot of the silver 8 reales wound up going to China, and the merchants there would put their mark on the coin to show that it was of full fineness, you know, good silver. So that's kind of interesting.
What kind of value?
Oh, these are very inexpensive, like $45. And then this piece here is a Sinaloa 8 reales made during the Mexican Revolution. These were cast in sand. They look kind of, you know, they're very, very crude, and they look it, but they used real 8 reales cap and ray coins from the 1800s to make the molds, and so they look kind of like a cap and ray 8 reals from the 1800s, but they were made during the Mexican Revolution. Very crude item, just to have for currency to pay the soldiers mainly.
How do you tell the counterfeits?
It's difficult. It's difficult.
What kind of value?
$100 to $200 is usually what they run now.
Most people that collect, or a great many that collect by country, either some country that they have a familiarity with or some country the family is from, and that's wonderful. But there's also a whole nother way to collect, which is also fun, and that's by thematic. They can collect by, I laid out some examples. Here's, for example, animals on notes. Well, this would be over here, very simple, from Bolivia. You can see it's a condor, which is very pretty and very nice and well engraved. And there are many, many variety of animals, usually germane to the country that they're from. So you get a great deal of variety.
And this particular note, it 0 serial number. What does that mean?
Oh yes, these are specimens. These are notes that came out of the archives of either the country or the printer. They were printed but never released to the public in this form. They always had numbers and signatures. Many of these have no numbers except zeros and no signatures.
And what kind of value on that one from Bolivia?
Well, that note is priced at $400, $450. It's a proof, which means it came off the original die. It's much sharper than the banknote that was issued, because it's like a negative made from a positive rather than a negative made from the original photo. So it's a much sharper image. It's much scarcer.
Show me another good theme.
Well, here you have a theme. This is allegories, allegorical. And for example, they're generally women not always, but generally, and they're surrounded by different things. In this particular case, it's produce and plenty, and which is often a very theme, but it's generally also peace, and you'll find or education. So you get the main figure is selling or presenting something that they want to be known for or the country's proud of.
This is also a proof note?
This is also a proof note, yes.
And
yes.
what kind of value?
Well, this is valued at $3,000.
Okay. And one more, a good theme.
Well, you like value, so we'll give you a big one. This is also part of allegorical, and this is education, and it's a very, very high value note from Puerto Rico. At the time, it was over $200, and this is early in the century. And this note is a proof, a colored proof, is valued at $15,000. So it's quite an expensive note.
And how do you get the proofs? How do they come on to the market?
Well, either an engraver has kept a few samples of their work, or the banknote company has sold their archives. This is how these particular notes got here. So it was very fortunate because it increased the availability of these things to the hobby. Okay, this one over here, you can see also is a theme with knowledge, the world, and it looks like either writing or printing, and that would be, just the theme they're interested in. Okay.
And many of these were done by the American banknote company?
Yes, these were, yes.
How did they get the contracts for so many foreign countries?
Well, they had wonderful engravers. They had a stable of great engravers, and they had wonderful images. They would create some specifically at the request of the country, or they had stock ones that they would modify for each country. So they were very, very well thought of, and they were security printers, which means it was very safe. In fact, in these days, they even made their own ink, so it was very hard to counterfeit their money.
Well, I brought a few pieces from my own personal collection, and they're not Mexican coins per se, but they started life out as Mexican coins. The first coin that I have is a 960 raise from the Rio de Janeiro Mint, 1820, where at this time they were taking silver out of the silver market, bust 8 reals, other crowns that circulated there, and completely overstriking them because it was much easier to buy a coin already produced than to make your own planchets. Now, what's interesting about this piece is that there's a countermark underneath the overstrike where it was countermarked for use in British Honduras, which is now Belize, on a Mexican coin, and you can see the assayer's letters right here. It's very faint, and you may not see it from the camera, but it's JJ, which those are the assayer's letters for Mexico between the years 1813 and 1818. So it is a Mexican coin, but it's not a Mexican coin. It has its roots in Mexico. And at the time my father sold this in 1982, the countermark underneath the Brazilian coin was considered of a spurious nature. And what this shows, since there's no official documentation for the British Honduras countermarks, what this shows is that this countermark was contemporary to the time, being applied prior to 1820. So it's very important as a coin because it proves authenticity and at the very minimum contemporaneous application.
What kind of value?
$1,500 to $2,500, somewhere in that ballpark, depending on how hot someone got for it. The next coin I have is a Mexican cob, which I recently acquired. It's probably a Philip IV. I haven't studied it for very long, but it's a Mexican cob that has been severely cut down, weighs about 21 grams, as opposed to 27 grams, so that's a huge decrease in weight, where it was countermarked for use in Tunisia in North Africa. And it's really a fascinating piece. The first one appeared in the mid-90s, and it came out of Turkey, which that makes sense. At the time these were produced, or at the times these were countermarked, it was the Ottoman Empire, which was based in Turkey. And so this was done in the 17th century, mid-17th century. There's about 10 different pieces known for different denominations. Only 4 and 8s are currently known, 4 and 8 reals. Some of the countermarks are dated, which place them in the 1630s, 1660s, 1680s. So they did it for a prolonged period of time. And in 2002, there was a horde of about 300 cobs that were found in a small village in Tunisia, and 3 of them had these different countermarks on them. So that pretty much solidifies the location of where these countermarks were applied. And so I'm really stoked about these, and I'm really excited that I recently acquired this one.
What would a collector expect to pay?
Well, I just paid $1,000 for this piece. I thought it was a bargain at that price. I would have paid much more for it.
Well, we use this show to show our auction lots because the timing is perfect. Our auction's just a month away, a little less than a month away. So we always bring our auction lots to the show. We always have a case full of the best highlights. I brought this one out to show specifically because it's a very important Mexican coin. It is in fact a 3 reales, which was a very brief denomination made under Charles and Joanna in the early 1500s. And this is one of only 2 without problems that are known, the other one being in the Banco de Mexico collection. And what makes it special and distinguishes it among the known 3 reales is that it has water lines below the pillars. We call that pillars and waves. It's not a normal feature for any of the early Charles and Joanna material, but for this one particular denomination and just part of that production, they put in this design, and nobody knows why. My sister Corey, who's here with me, wrote an excellent article about all of the 3 reales and mentions this type of sub-variety for the 3 reales.
What should a collector expect to pay?
Who knows? A coin like this that's finest known, nobody can say. Our estimate is $35,000 and up based on a multiple of what others have sold for that are much inferior to this coin. So we'll see. It's very exciting to think about what could happen. So now this coin, that's also among our highlights for the auction, happens to be a Colombian cob. Cobs are our specialties. They're the hand-struck coins. That makes it rare enough. But this is one of a few pieces known that have a countermark for the Spanish Netherlands, Brabant. And a very interesting story that these coins made it back to Europe and were circulated there in the wake of the big Potosi mint scandal in 1652 and prior. They needed a way to establish that these were not the fraudulent coins, these were the good coins. And so I believe the circulation value was 48 stivers in the Netherlands, within the Spanish Netherlands. Very interesting piece. Also one of the more heavily pedigreed pieces that we have in the auction, going back to the Lasser collection. We even have, which I find amusing, an auction lot tag from my very first auction years ago. So very exciting coin, one of several that we have here on display.
And again, what would a collector expect to pay?
That's a good question. I believe the estimate on this is $5,000 or something like that. Again, who knows what it'll sell for. That's the beauty of an auction. We never know. Okay, I thought I'd point this coin out because it is another Mexican coin, a very interesting shape and has a very pretty date there, 15, very bold and clear. What's important about this is that this was one of the very few coins that is on the market from the Whydah pirate shipwreck off Cape Cod. Very few of those coins got out. They were all gifts to investors. It's been a principle of the salvager that he never sells any of the coins from the wreck. Now, what's also very important about this particular coin is the link to the 1715 fleet off the east coast of Florida. This date on this coin is a direct link to that, and I presented an article in our auction catalog explaining the link. The pirate behind the Whydah was specifically, his career started by going to salvage the 1715 fleet when it happened. And from there, he went on a pirate spree, ended up sacking over 50 different ships and taking all of that treasure with him when he went down off Cape Cod. I think that we've only scratched the surface as far as what is there and what will be found. And I think it's very fortunate for collectors that this piece is even out there for people to buy. And it will be a feature in our auction.
Auction estimate?
I believe we put $15,000 and up as the estimate for this. And I wouldn't be surprised if it doubled that number.
So this year, PCGS decided to hold a grading competition. And what that is you fill out a form and you grade the coins. And the coins are inside PCGS slabs numbered 1 through 20. The people grade the coins and turn it in to PCGS. And the coins, based on how many you get correct, you could win up to 5 free gradings for first place and 2 free gradings for second place.
All right, everybody, for all our Coin Television viewers, I, David Lasso, I'm going to take the PCGS grading challenge. So I'll let you know how difficult it is. Here are the coins. All I have to do is grade 20 of them, and I too might be a champion grader. There's some really great coins here, I'm telling you. Here's a gold piece, half a scudo, really cool, proof-like. Even a piece from Oaxaca. Oh my gosh, I'm finally done. This is really difficult. There's some really nice coins here. They're all Mexican and Latin American. Everything from 20th century to cobs and early colonial pieces. I hope I did well. I'll find out. All right, Jay, I'm here. I'm excited. Here's my sheet. How did I do?
Well, you got out of a possible score of 40, you ended up scoring 10 points.
10? Only 10?
Yes.
I've been 40 years in numismatics. How can that be?
Well, grading is a skillful art, and it's very difficult. That's why it's...
How many people have taken this test?
We've had close to about 20 people taking the test.
And how do I compare in terms of the majority of the people?
Well, because the coins are such varying ranges and such esoteric stuff that we didn't have anyone get even close to the perfect score.
I thought with all of my experience, 40 years in numismatics, I'd be a good grader. But here is Kyle Ponterio, who won the competition. Jay, tell me how Kyle did.
Out of a possible score of 40 points, Kyle scored 25 points, making him the #1 point scorer at the competition and the winner of the PCGS USMEX competition and 5 free gradings.
Excellent.
And what's your secret? How did you get to become such a good grader?
Darts. So.
No, serious.
Now, oh man, I have a long way to go. Just trying to do the best I can, looking for breaks in luster and wear.
So I scored a 10. He scored a 25. What was the worst person that you...
I don't want to disclose that.
Well, for what it's worth, if you guys get to coin shows and you find PCGS, you too could take a grading challenge. And in any case, it's good to learn about coins and how to grade, and especially to collect. Here at the US Mexican Numismatic Association Convention, a new book was announced about Chilean numismatics.
Hi guys, this is a small presentation prior to Jay's presentation. So I've been to several USMEX conventions by now, and I wanted to introduce you a good friend of mine. His name is Eduardo Chavez. He's the young and upcoming Chilean numismatist, and he's the author of this very, very good book. And these are not words I use lightly at all when it comes to numismatic work. This, in my opinion, is really one of the best contributions in the South American field for a long, long, long time. This is not just a checklist or a catalog or a rarity, list. This book comes with the proper documentation and all the history of this very, very popular and fascinating series of coinage. So if you read through this book, you really understand all the symbology, all the historical relevance, and all the importance of this coinage that was one among the first independent Republican coinages struck in South America. So I'll leave you with this. He has a few words.
Thanks. I have a little torpedo. Well, the publication of this book was intended to commemorate the 200 years of the first Chilean coin with the new national symbols. It was not easy due to the scarce information, research, documentation, and publication on the subject. The two main requirements that allow the development of the book was the correct identification of the assigners whose initials appears on the coins minted between 1870 and 1834. Second, jointly by the British Museum in London, they give us the photograph, image of the independent Chilean peso of 1826.
Which is a unique piece, legendary piece, the only one known. It's the one basically that completes the series.
It's a rare piece. This book does not pretend to be a catalog, nor a study about the varieties of stamps. It is a historical research that shows the importance of this coin in the development of a new republic. The book has 4 chapters. The first chapter shows what are the symbols of the coin that represent the volcano, the column, the star. The second chapter shows the correct identification of the engravers and the assigners that can be corroborated by original documents found in the Archivo Nacional de Chile. The third chapter shows a summary tables of the assigners in the coin according to a year, a table with the actual quantities minted per year, and a brief analysis of the emissions and how the economic context influenced on the final minting of the coins.
So this is very important because for the first time you see here the true mintage figures, and that has direct relation with the rarity of the coins themselves.
Finally, the chapter 4 shows per year an image in high quality, showing only the varieties and the counter stamp for some years.
And the 2 stars of the book probably are these pieces, the 1826, the only one piece known is in the British Museum, and the 1830. I think this piece has been around since 1911, the Salvak sale, but it has never been photographed before. So that's it. And we ran out of copies at the show, unfortunately, but we'll have more copies soon at Award Numismatics. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you.